On the day the world stripped him bare, Marcus gave away the very last thing he owned.
He lost his job.
He lost his dignity. He lost every shred of hope. Yet when a shivering street dweller reached out, Marcus chose compassion over self-preservation. He had no idea the heavens were taking notes. He never imagined that single gesture of mercy would rewrite his entire future. This is a tale of surrender, quiet belief, and unexpected restoration. Marcus awoke that morning with an unexplained weight pressing on his ribs. The sun had risen, but his cramped apartment remained shadowed. The old ceiling fan rattled weakly overhead. He stayed motionless on the thin mattress, eyes fixed on water stains above, murmuring a simple prayer. "Lord, carry me through today. That's all I ask." He wasn't idle or careless. Marcus rose before dawn each day, endured packed public transport, and often stayed hours past closing. His position at the mid-sized logistics firm wasn't glamorous, but it kept the lights on. For a man like Marcus, keeping the lights on was victory enough. He dressed in his faded work shirt, grabbed his frayed backpack, and stepped out. Breakfast was skipped. Every coin was being hoarded for rent. Life already felt like walking a tightrope. At the office, the atmosphere was off. Colleagues spoke in hushed tones, eyes sliding away when he passed. Marcus pushed the unease aside and logged in, willing normalcy to return. It didn't. Before lunch, his supervisor summoned him. "Have a seat, Marcus." The man stared at his desk. Marcus sat, pulse quickening. "Company-wide adjustments," the supervisor muttered. "Your role is being eliminated. Today's your final day." The sentence landed like a fist. No prior discussion, no severance cushion. "I've given everything here," Marcus said, voice cracking. "I'm sorry," came the flat reply that carried no sorrow. "Clear your desk." Numb, Marcus gathered his few belongings. Walking through the lobby, the city outside seemed louder, crueler. How would he eat? How would he pay the landlord? Questions spun without answers. He wandered aimlessly until hunger clawed harder. In his pocket, barely enough for bus fare home and one cheap meal. Then he noticed her. She huddled beside a rusted railing, clothing threadbare, face hollow from days without food. Passers-by hurried past or veered wide. "Anything, please," she whispered. Marcus slowed. Instinct screamed, "Keep moving." He had nothing left. Yet his late grandmother's words surfaced. "Never turn from someone hurting. You never know whose hands you're really filling." He turned back. Their eyes locked. Hers held exhaustion, not entitlement. He emptied his pocket, every last note and coin into her palm. "That's truly all I have," he said softly. She stared, stunned. "Why give it when you're suffering too?" Marcus managed a weary smile. "The Lord sees. He'll make a way." She clasped his hand fiercely. "This kindness will return to you. You won't stay broken." A shiver ran through him. She let go. Marcus walked on, empty-handed, stomach growling, yet oddly lighter inside. That night Marcus lay in the dark, stomach hollow, mind churning. The woman's promise echoed like a half-remembered dream. Then, 3 firm knocks shattered the silence. The clock glowed 11:47 p.m. Who knocks at this hour in a rundown building? Landlord demanding overdue rent? Police with bad news? Fear pinned him for a moment. "Who's there?" he called. Silence. Another knock, deliberate. Marcus rose, heart hammering, and cracked the door. A tall stranger stood under the dim hallway bulb, tailored coat, polished shoes, completely out of place. "Marcus Reed?" the man asked evenly. "Yes." The stranger extended a crisp envelope. "You're expected at this address tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp." Expected by whom? A faint smile. "Everything necessary is inside." He turned and melted into the night. Marcus shut the door, hands unsteady. The envelope felt substantial. No logo, no sender. Inside, one elegant card bearing an upscale address and the time. Nothing else. He laughed once, a dry, bewildered sound. What kind of prank is this? Sleep was impossible. He replayed the beggar woman's face, her grip, her strange assurance. Morning arrived too soon. Hunger roared, but he ignored it. He washed, pulled on his least-worn shirt, and stared into the chipped mirror. Nothing left to lose, he told his reflection. The address took him to the gleaming financial district, towering structures, silent streets, luxury vehicles gliding past. He paused before a sleek skyscraper of glass and steel. The numbers matched. Inside, marble floors reflected soft lighting. The receptionist glanced up and smiled. "Good morning, Mr. Reed. We've been waiting. Elevator to the penthouse level, please." Marcus's legs felt detached from his body. Waiting? For him? The doors opened to hushed opulence. A voice called, "Come through." He entered a spacious office bathed in morning light. Sitting behind an imposing desk was the woman from the street, but transformed. Clean, tailored suit, hair elegantly pinned, posture radiating authority. No trace of frailty remained. She looked up and offered a calm smile. "Please sit, Marcus." He stood frozen. You were?" "Yes," she said gently. "I was the woman you helped yesterday." His knees nearly buckled. "This can't be real." "Sit," she repeated. "Everything is real." He lowered himself into the chair, mind reeling. "My name is Mrs. Eleanor Grant," she continued. "Yesterday, you unknowingly passed the most important test of your life." Marcus could only stare. The woman who had seemed destitute now commanded the room. And somehow, his single act of giving had brought him here, to the edge of a destiny he never could have imagined. Mrs. Grant studied him with quiet intensity. "You're wondering how this is possible." Marcus nodded mutely. "Power blinds people," she explained. "When I walk these halls, everyone smiles too widely, bows too quickly. Their kindness is calculated. I needed to know who would show mercy with nothing to gain." She rose and moved to the floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking the sprawling city. "So I removed every marker of status. Fine clothes, security, name. I sat exposed, invisible. Hundreds passed. Most ignored me. Some mocked. A few tossed coins like charity was beneath them." She turned. "Then you appeared. You had just been stripped of your livelihood. Your eyes carried grief. Yet you stopped. You gave everything remaining to a stranger." Marcus shifted uncomfortably. "It wasn't heroic. I almost kept walking." "That hesitation makes the choice honest," she replied. "You gave from emptiness, not surplus. That is exceedingly rare." Silence settled between them. "Why me?" Marcus finally asked. "Plenty of decent people exist." "Decent hearts are common," Mrs. Grant said. "Hearts that obey in secret are few." She returned to her desk and slid a slim folder toward him. "This company is mine. And this," she tapped the folder, "is your doorway." He didn't touch it. "I have no credentials for a place like this. I'm ordinary." "Is integrity not a credential?" she countered. He fell silent. "I'm offering you a genuine role," she continued. "Room to learn, to grow, to carry real responsibility." Marcus's pulse thundered. "Why risk it on me?" "Because abilities can be trained. Character reveals itself in crisis. Yours shone when you had nothing left." Joy and terror collided inside him. "But hear this clearly," she added, voice firming. "Favor draws opposition. Elevation invites enemies. If you accept, promise me one thing." He met her gaze. "What?" "Never let success alter your core. Stay the man who gave when he had nothing." Marcus thought of the roadside, the hunger, the decision. "I promise." Mrs. Grant's expression softened. "Then your story is only beginning." As he stood to leave, his phone buzzed an anonymous message. Be watchful. Not everyone celebrates your rise. He glanced back at her. She nodded once, as if she already knew. Kindness had unlocked a door, but it had also stirred shadows. Marcus stepped into the elevator feeling the weight of both blessing and coming battle. Marcus arrived for his first official day dressed in the best clothes he owned, still modest compared to the tailored suits around him. The gleaming lobby now felt less intimidating, yet his stomach twisted with nerves. "Lord, keep me grounded," he breathed before entering. The department buzzed with purpose. His new manager introduced him briefly. Smiles were polite. Curiosity was palpable. One face stood out, cold, assessing. Damien Cole leaned back, arms folded. "So you're the surprise hire," he drawled. "Fast track, huh?" Marcus offered a neutral smile. "I'm grateful to be here and ready to learn." Damien's lip curled. "We'll see how long that lasts." The hostility was immediate, subtle, but unmistakable. Marcus buried himself in tasks, listening intently, taking notes, staying late, without complaint. Eyes followed him constantly. By day 3, the murmurs grew louder. Who's he connected to? No experience. Must be a favor. Doesn't belong here. He pretended deafness, clinging to Mrs. Grant's warning. Favor breeds envy. That afternoon Damien approached with false warmth. "Mrs. Grant needs these reports finalized by end of day." The documents were dense, technical, far beyond Marcus's brief onboarding. "I'll give it everything," he replied. "You'd better," Damien said, leaning in. Marcus worked meticulously, triple-checking details. When finished, Damien took the files without comment and walked away. Next morning, chaos erupted. 2 security officers marched to his desk. "Mr. Reed, come with us." The floor froze. "What's happening?" Marcus asked, keeping his voice level. "You're under investigation for unauthorized disclosure of sensitive data." "I haven't done anything wrong," he said firmly. Damien stood. "Evidence suggests otherwise." Marcus remembered the handover. "You assigned those reports to me." Damien shrugged. "And you misused them." Escorted to a holding room, Marcus felt the old despair creep back. His phone lit up, concerned texts from friends, judgmental posts online. Then Mrs. Grant entered. She regarded him steadily. "This is the crucible," she said. "I didn't betray anyone," he insisted. "I know." She crossed her arms. "Now show me something more important. Will you cling to truth even when lies would save face?" Marcus straightened. "I'll speak only what happened, even if it costs me everything again." She nodded once. "That's the answer I needed." Outside, Damien smirked, certain victory was his. But unseen cameras had recorded every move, and the net was tightening around the true culprit. Marcus sat rigid in the small holding room. The wall clocks ticking felt like hammer blows. Every second tested his resolve. A guard appeared. "They're ready for you." The conference room was heavy with tension. Senior leaders flanked the long table. Legal counsel sat stone-faced. Damien lounged confidently, avoiding eye contact. Mrs. Grant watched everything in silence. One executive spoke first. "Mr. Reed, you stand accused of transmitting restricted files to external parties." "I did no such thing," Marcus replied evenly. Damien leaned forward. "The material was entrusted to you. The transmission originated from your credentials." "You handed me those files," Marcus said. "You set the deadline." Damien spread his hands. "I trusted you." Clearly a mistake. Mrs. Grant stayed quiet, observing. The legal head placed a printed email chain on the table. "This was sent from a workstation logged in under your name." Marcus examined it. "This timestamp is after I left for the day. I wasn't here." Damien chuckled. Convenient excuse. Pressure mounted. Marcus could feel the room tilting against him. He could shout accusations, plead, fabricate. Instead, he spoke quietly. "My grandmother always said lies buy time, but steal peace. I won't trade truth for safety." He looked at Mrs. Grant. "I'll stand on what really happened." Her gaze held quiet approval. The executives conferred briefly. "Pending deeper review, you are suspended effective immediately." Damien's smile widened. Mrs. Grant raised a hand. "One moment." She activated the wall screen. "Before conclusions are drawn, view this." Security footage began. Late evening. Empty office. Damien appeared, using a duplicated access card. He sat at Marcus's station, opened the restricted files, composed, and sent the incriminating email, then carefully erased his tracks. Gasps rippled through the room. Damien shot to his feet. That's misleading. Context is missing. Is it? Mrs. Grant asked icily. The footage continued, Damien leaving casually. The legal officer cleared his throat. This constitutes gross misconduct. Damien paled. Madam, allow me to clarify. You've clarified enough, she cut in. She turned to Marcus. You chose truth when deception would have been simpler. That carries weight. To Damien. Your employment ends now. Security removed him amid furious protests and threats. The executives offered quiet apologies. You're fully exonerated, Mr. Reed. Yet as Marcus left the building that evening, unease lingered. The streets felt too still. Footsteps echoed behind him, measured, purposeful. He glanced back, no one. His phone buzzed. Unknown sender. Asterisk, truth burned me today. Tonight it burns you. Asterisk. Heart racing, Marcus hurried forward, whispering prayer. At a shadowed intersection, a figure blocked his path, broad, menacing. Before contact, 2 security personnel emerged from a nearby vehicle. Step away, one ordered. The stranger cursed and vanished into the gloom. One guard approached. Mrs. Grant anticipated trouble. She assigned protection. Marcus exhaled shakily. Thank you. Blessing and peril were now inseparable companions. Sleep eluded Marcus that night. Scenes replayed endlessly. Dismissal, generosity, favor, accusation, vindication, threat. Each carried a lesson, yet the pace exhausted him. Morning brought Mrs. Grant's summons. She studied him like someone assessing storm damage. You were nearly ambushed last night, she stated. Yes, ma'am. I foresaw it. Marcus frowned. You expected violence? She motioned him to sit. Elevation always provokes resistance. But there's something deeper you must grasp. She moved to the window, shoulders carrying invisible weight. I wasn't born into strength. Years ago, illness took everything. Health, business momentum, even family. When I was weakest, those closest vanished. My own brother turned away. My daughter distanced herself. Marcus's throat tightened. I'm sorry. That abandonment reshaped me, she continued. I learned possessions attract crowds. Character uncovers loyalty. That's why the disguise. Partly to test others. Partly to remind myself what truly matters. She faced him. Your action rekindled my belief that genuine hearts endure. Marcus swallowed. I never guessed. You weren't supposed to. Pure kindness needs no audience. She Saturday, I didn't bring you here solely for employment. Then why? I need someone incorruptible. Someone who won't trade principle for position. Someone who stands firm when pressure mounts. I'm afraid, Marcus admitted. Fear is natural. Faith acts through it. She produced a contract. I want you beside me, not merely a staff, but learning stewardship of something larger. His eyes widened. Me?
Yes.
But it will demand sacrifice. What kind?
Ease.
Certain relationships. Inner quiet. As if scripted, his phone vibrated. A close friend. Asterisk, we should talk. This new life doesn't seem like you. Asterisk. Mrs. Grant noticed his expression.
See?
Rise exposes what people truly value. What do I do? Remain anchored. Let truth defend you. Don't retaliate in rage. Marcus exhaled. I'll try. One final warning, she added. Damien wasn't solitary. Someone intimate betrayed your confidence. The word struck like ice. Someone close. She nodded gravely. Until caution becomes habit, danger lingers near. Marcus departed with a burdened spirit. The city appeared unchanged, yet he felt transformed. Generosity had raised him. Integrity had shielded him. Now the deepest conflict brewed not in boardrooms, but among those he once trusted most. Marcus barely slept. Mrs. Grant's revelation looped in his mind. Someone close shared information about you. At dawn he knelt in prayer. Search me, Lord. Grant discernment. Keep resentment far from me. Work felt mechanical. His eyes scanned colleagues, replayed past conversations, searched for motive. Paranoia was creeping in. Mid-afternoon, his phone showed repeated missed calls from Sarah, his partner of 4 years, the one constant through lean times. Dread settled in his gut. They met at their old corner cafe, after hours. Sarah sat rigid, eyes fixed on her untouched coffee. "You seem distant," she said flatly. "How so?" "Like you've outgrown everyone." Marcus sighed. "Sarah, nothing's changed between us." She gave a brittle laugh. "Late nights, sudden influence, whispers of threats. You're different." "My circumstances shifted. Not me." She leaned closer. "Do you realize how terrified I am? One slip, and we're back to nothing. I can't face that again." Marcus felt the ground tilt. "Is that what this is, fear?" Tears brimmed. "Damien approached me," she confessed. Marcus froze. "He warned that powerful forces would crush you, and anyone tied to you. He promised protection if I helped him understand your routines." "You fed him information about me?" Marcus asked, voice low. "I thought I was shielding us," she sobbed. "I was scared." He closed his eyes against the sting. "You chose safety over loyalty. Fear over trust." She reached for him. He withdrew gently. "I still love you," he said, "but trust is fractured." They sat in heavy quiet, two people grieving different losses. That evening, Marcus returned home hollowed out. Next day, the storm intensified. Fabricated stories flooded social media, insinuations of deceit, backroom bargains, undeserved favor. By midday, the board called an emergency session. Marcus was placed on leave, not for guilt, but to quell mounting pressure. Alone in his apartment, phone ablaze with notifications, some kind, most vicious, he sank to the floor. "Lord," he choked out, "I tried to do right. Why does obedience hurt so deeply?" The doorbell rang. Mrs. Grant stood outside. She entered without words and sat beside him. "This is the low place," she said softly. "Every true path leads here." "I'm weary," he admitted. "I know." She took his hands. "You face a fork, fight with bitterness and mirror your attackers, or stand still and allow truth to prevail. What if I lose it all again? Then you'll meet the man God can truly entrust with more." She handed him a plain envelope. "One last opening, to clear your name fully. But it requires surrender." "Of what?" "Your pride. Your right to vengeance. Perhaps the bond you still cling to." Marcus stared at the envelope. "Before public honor comes private breaking." He nodded. "I'm willing." The envelope remained unopened through the night. Marcus knelt beside his bed, elbows on the mattress, whispering through exhaustion. "Father, I'm empty. If this is your hand, guide me. If it's my ego, shatter it." Quiet tears fell, not dramatic, but steady, releasing years of striving to be faithful amid hardship. At last he opened the packet. A brief document and a personal note from Mrs. Grant. Marcus, this is no longer about proving innocence. It is about unveiling what has been concealed. Tomorrow hidden things surface. Your single condition: do not speak in your own defense. Let truth declare itself. If you consent, join the board meeting at 10 a.m. Refusing to defend himself went against every instinct. He longed to explain, to accuse, to reclaim dignity. Yet a deeper conviction whispered, "Be still." Morning arrived. He dressed plainly, no attempt to impress. Entering the boardroom, he felt every stare. Executives sat taut. Legal advisors murmured. Tension crackled. He took the farthest seat and remained silent. Mrs. Grant entered last. The room hushed. "Today we conclude this matter," she announced. She nodded to the legal team. Screens lit with evidence, message threads, call records, covert audio, timelines. Damien's name appeared repeatedly. Sarah's too. Several staff members were implicated in the coordinated effort to frame and discredit him. Murmurs of shock spread. The proof was irrefutable. Greed and fear had conspired against integrity. Marcus stayed mute. Mrs. Grant spoke again. "One final point." She turned to him. "Stand, please." He rose. "This man," she declared, "was tested by lack, by hunger, by sudden favor, by false accusation, by personal betrayal, and he held fast. She paused. When empty, he gave. When blamed, he chose honesty. When wounded, he refused vengeance. The room held its breath. I assumed the role of a street dweller, she continued, to discover someone heaven could entrust with true abundance. I found him. She addressed the board. Some here should feel shame today. From her folder, she withdrew a new document. Effective now, Marcus Reed is reinstated and advanced. Whispers erupted. He will lead a new initiative within our organization, a foundation serving the jobless, the displaced, the overlooked. Tears blurred Marcus's vision. Mrs. Grant met his eyes. Whoever remembers the lowest will never abuse the highest. The meeting closed quietly, no fanfare, only the settling weight of justice. Later Marcus walked alone to the familiar roadside, the broken railing, the place of beginning. A young woman sat there now, sign in hand. Without a word, he placed money in her palm and continued on.
His phone chimed.
Sarah, I was wrong. I traded something priceless. I pray you find peace.
He didn't reply.
Some wounds need time. Marcus did not hurry home. Instead, he wandered, letting the city's rhythm wash over him. 3 weeks earlier, he had been destitute, invisible. Now favor had arrived, yet with it came scars he hadn't anticipated. He paused at a small park bench and sat, replaying the arc. Sudden loss, radical generosity, mysterious summons, dazzling opportunity, vicious sabotage, painful betrayal, ultimate vindication. Each turn had stripped another layer, revealing what endured. He thought of his grandmother's kitchen table, her gentle insistence. Character isn't built in comfort, son. It's forged in fire. A quiet certainty settled. The real gift wasn't the promotion or the foundation role. It was the knowledge that obedience in secret is never wasted. His phone vibrated again, Mrs. Grant. Come to the office when you're ready. No rush, He stood and walked back. She waited in her office, sunlight streaming behind her. No ceremony, just two people who had walked through fire together. You've been quiet, she observed. Processing, he admitted. It hurts more than I expected. She nodded. Truth often does at first. She gestured to a chair. The foundation launches next month. I want her input on priorities. Marcus hesitated. I'm still learning. That's why you're perfect for it, she replied. You remember what lack feels like. They spoke for hours, plans for job training, emergency aid, mentorship for those society had discarded. Each idea felt like healing. As evening fell, she grew reflective. I've spent decades building walls of success. You reminded me why walls exist, and when they should come down. Marcus smiled faintly. You gave me far more than a job. And you gave me hope that goodness survives. He left lighter. Outside, the city pulsed on, indifferent, relentless. Yet Marcus no longer felt crushed beneath it. Kindness had lifted him once. Truth had defended him. Now wisdom would guide him forward. He stopped at a street vendor, bought 2 simple meals, and handed one to an elderly man sitting nearby. No speech, no expectation, just the quiet rhythm of giving that had become part of him. That small act felt more powerful than any boardroom announcement. Because the highest position, he now understood, wasn't found on executive floors. It was found in remembering and serving the ones still sitting by the roadside. Months later, the foundation bearing Marcus's quiet vision opened its first center. Former colleagues who once whispered against him now attended the launch, some sheepish, others genuinely moved. Damien had faded into obscurity. Sarah had moved away, seeking her own healing. Mrs. Grant spoke briefly at the ribbon cutting. This work exists because one man chose mercy when everything else had been taken. He proved that compassion in private moments builds legacies that endure. Marcus stood to the side unassuming. When invited forward, he kept his words short. I don't stand here because I'm special, he said. I stand because someone saw value in a single choice made in weakness. If anything I've learned endures, let it be this. Never underestimate what heaven can do with an obedient heart. Applause followed, modest and sincere. Afterward, he slipped away to the original roadside. The broken fence remained, weathered but standing. No one sat there today. He placed a small envelope containing cash and a note beneath a stone, asterisk for whoever needs it next. You're seen, asterisk. Walking back, he felt no need to look over his shoulder. Threats had come and gone. Betrayal had cut deeply and faded. What remained was peace forged in fire. At home, he opened his journal, one he'd begun during the darkest nights, and wrote, asterisk loss taught me dependence. Giving taught me trust. Favor taught me humility. Betrayal taught me boundaries. Truth taught me patience. And through it all, God taught me he never wastes a surrendered life. Asterisk. He closed the book and looked out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, another person woke with a heavy chest, wondering how they would survive tomorrow. Marcus smiled softly. He no longer feared such mornings, because he knew the one who watches the sparrows and the generous hearts never forgets. The story that began with emptiness had ended in fullness, not of wealth or status, but of purpose. And that, he realized, was the greatest turnaround of all. Kindness had opened the door. Truth had guarded it. Faith had carried him through. And somewhere, in ways he might never fully see, that one act by the roadside continued rippling outward, changing lives long after the moment had passed. Because heaven is always watching, and mercy never returns empty.